Running late, technical difficulties with the printing, although I'm always late, but this is particularly. Okay, good morning everybody. Our learning today was generously dedicated by Dr. Schiff in honor of his wife's big birthday. Mazel tov, Ad Mea Ve'esrim. Mazel tov.
Do we sing happy birthday now or later?
Well, it's for you. We could sing it for all of you two for posterity. It's okay. Let's continue where we left off last time. We have been inching through the bracha that we make in the morning of Netilas Yadayim. And we've been using this bracha as really a general guide to the kavanos, the focus that we should have when we say a berachas HaMitzvah. So we discussed the word Baruch, we discussed the word Atah, we discussed Shem Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam. This week, for the beginning part of this year, I would like to focus on the next phrase, Asher Kedishanu B'mitzvosav, that we thank God for endowing us with a sanctity through the mitzvos. Asher Kedishanu, Kadesh means to sanctify, B'mitzvosav. We thank God for sanctifying us by giving us an opportunity to do mitzvos. So it's self-understood on some level that we are sanctified because we can do mitzvos, but I like to deepen the idea through the prism of a pasuk and a very challenging insight by the rabbis that at first glance will seem derogatory, will seem negative and critical, but when we dig deeper, we will understand a beautiful, beautiful insight from Rav Schwab, and it will frame the entire way we think about this phrase that God has sanctified us with His mitzvos. So the point of departure is the pasuk that we read a few weeks ago regarding the Akedah. Before Avraham and Yitzchak journeyed on top of Har HaMoriah, so Avraham said to the people who were accompanying him, and we'll see inside that was Eliezer and Yishmael, you stay here, right? I'm going to go up with Yitzchak, and you two, you stay here. In source number 1, the Torah tells us, Vayomer Avraham el Na'arav, Avram turned to his, it doesn't mean lad, like the word Na'ar means a young boy, it doesn't mean Na'ar, it means his servants, Shavu lachem po im hachamor, you stay here with the donkey, Va'ani va'na'ar nelcha ad ko, and me and the boy, referring to Isaac, will go there. And we will bow down and we will return. By the way, Rashi says that Avram prophesied without even realizing what he was prophesying, because he says, we will return. So clearly Avram knew on some level that he was going to come back with Yitzchak. Yes, Marty?
It's also interesting to note that the same pronoun or the same description is used for Yishmael and Eliezer.
Right.
This is used by Yitzchak.
That's interesting. I wonder what we can make of that. I'm not sure. So the Gemara tells us that there is a connection here between Na'arav and Chamor. Right, Avram says, Shavu lachem po im hachamor. You two, you stay here with the donkey. And the Gemara tells us in source number 2, Shavu lachem po im hachamor, am hadom el hachamor. That you non-Jews, you are like donkeys. So that's what I said. The point of departure will be this verse and a very derogatory statement of Chazal. And just to be clear, we're not talking about derogatory, we're not talking about unsavory people. We're talking about Eliezer, who was the prized servant, a dedicated, loyal person in Avram's home, who, according to tradition, was very learned in Torah, and Yishmael. And according to tradition, Yishmael too was a Chozer B'Tshuva. So the Targum Yonasan, source number 3, the Aramaic translation of the pasuk, but it's infused with commentary as well, tells us, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it tells us that Avram traveled, in the bolder words, Yas Eliezer v'Yas Yishmael. He was traveling with Eliezer, and he was traveling with Yishmael. So these are quite impressive people that he's traveling with, certainly according to the Medrash. So how do we understand this Gemara? The Gemara says that you two, you're like a donkey. You and Eliezer, Yishmael and Eliezer, you two, you're like a donkey.
Because Abram and Yitzchak see Har HaMoriah.
Okay.
They do not see it.
Okay.
And therefore, they're on a different level.
So they're on a different level is correct. What's the significance of the donkey? I'm not looking for anyone to be critical right now in a disparaging way. Yes, Judy.
Have anything to do with the shorish of Chumrah?
Interesting, chumrah like chomer. So maybe I want to share with you what Rav Schwab says, and then you'll be able, I think, to to bring in what you just suggested. Anna.
But the donkey is not so derogatory because the donkey had Bilam.
Okay.
Or the...
That's an interesting, so we'd have to think of that, very interesting, about the Bilam's donkey. So I'll tell you what Rav Schwab says. Rav Schwab says that we know that there is a marked difference between Kedushas HaChamor and a Kedusha that falls upon other animals. So for example, when a owner of a farmer, let's say a shepherd, has a sheep or a goat, right? So the oldest one has Kedushas Bechor. The body is imbued with sanctity, and it must be given as a sacrifice. It must be given to the Kohen. The Kohen offers it as a sacrifice. This is what we call Bechor, the Kedushas of Bechor. It has to be given as a sacrifice in the Beis HaMikdash, and the Kohen is able to eat from the meat of the sacrifices. If the farmer / shepherd has a donkey, so there's no inherent sanctity to the donkey. Instead, this farmer / shepherd, I don't know who raises donkeys, either way, whoever it is, has to give the cash amount, the value of the donkey, to the Kohen. That's the halacha. There's Petar Chamor and there's Petar Shor. There's Petar Seh, there's the redeeming of the donkey, and then there's giving of the other animals that can be brought to the Beis HaMikdash to the Kohen. So let me just finish this statement. Rav Schwab says as follows. What you see over here is that there are certain animals that can be fully imbued with sanctity. They can be brought to the Beis HaMikdash. They can be offered on the Mizbeach. And there are other animals, specifically the Chamor, that never have inherent sanctity. They can be, their cash value can be given to the Kohen, but their bodies themselves are never imbued with inherent sanctity. Says Rabbi Schwab, the same thing is true for human beings. Non-Jews can reach very, very high levels. There are Chasidei Umos HaOlam. But ultimately, their bodies are not imbued with inherent sanctity. They are L'olam Vaid and Eino Mitzuva V'Yoseh. They are people who are not commanded beyond the 7 Noachai laws. They're not commanded in mitzvos. And if they do so, it's a nice thing, maybe, but it doesn't inherently elevate their bodies. The Jewish people, however, through the mitzvos, have bodies that are inherently sanctified. Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvosav is our way of stating, Hashem, you have imbued our bodies with sanctity. You have elevated our bodies to a much higher level because we are commanded in the mitzvos and we do the mitzvos, and that gives our bodies a higher degree of sanctity than the non-Jews. And the non-Jews will always be like a donkey. Not in a derogatory sense, but just like the sacrifice of the donkey never makes its way to the Beis HaMikdash. It's never imbued with a higher degree of sanctity. The most you can do is redeem it for its cash value. So the same thing applies to the non-Jews themselves. So when the Gemara says, Shavu lachem po'im machamor, am hadome lachamor, what is it saying? It's not equating non-Jews with donkeys. It's simply stating it just like a peter chamor, just like the firstborn donkey can't be brought to the Beis HaMikdash. It can only be redeemed because it doesn't have inherent sanctity. So too, the non-Jews don't have inherent sanctity. The Jewish people, however, because we are commanded the mitzvos, our bodies are elevated, and we do have inherent sanctity. And the way we express that, what gives us this sanctity, and the way we express it, is through the observance of the mitzvos. And that, says Rav Schwab, and then I'll take questions, is why we only make a birchas hamitzvah when we do something through our bodies. If a person thinks about Torah, they don't have to make a berachas Torah. And when a person says Shema, for example, even though we're moving our lips, ultimately Shema, Kabbalas, Ol Malchut Shemayim, accepting the yoke of heaven, happens where? Internally. And therefore we don't make a berachas mitzvah. A berachas mitzvah, when we say these words, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvosav, is only expressed through our actions and our mitzvos. That's why we make the Berachas HaMitzvah, and that's the significance of these words. Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvosav. Hashem, you have sanctified us with your commandments, because that's what gives our bodies the inherent sanctity that brings us closer to God. Marty and then Dr. Gansha. Yes?
If I'm not mistaken, the rules regarding firstborn are specific for kosher animals,
right,
and for a chamor. If I were to raise,
that's
for
correct,
example, rabbits,
right,
right. So that there, I think, the idea is beautiful, but I think that there is a quantitative amount of kedusha that is in what Rav Schwab is trying to say is that they don't reach the level of Kedusha of Bnei Yisrael,
right,
but also show that there is a level attained because instead...
very nice. Very good. Very good. Marty's point is very well taken, meaning we're not comparing them to rabbits. They're donkeys in the sense that there is a level of Kedusha, but it's not inherent, it's not as high as a Jew. That's a nice point.
So that becomes a quantitative amount that we say that, to say we are Am HaMuvchar.
Very nice.
For what? Not to be
right, beautiful,
negative thing,
right,
but we were given the opportunity to go beyond the Shabbat Mitzvah.
Beautiful point. Yes, Dr. Gansha.
Tendler quotes the Rav Zatzal, in which he takes his pasuk and he says that in life, we, the Jewish people, have a commonality with everyone, whether it's supporting cancer, voting, etc., etc. But there's a certain point, Atah,
right,
where we have a special spiritual obligation,
right,
and therefore he goes with Yitzchak in return because that's
you stay here, and as Marty's saying, there's sanctity to that. You're the chamor. It's not a derogatory. It's of all the animals, the chamor is the only one that even has the lower level of sanctity. So it's an uplifting statement. Am hadom ala chamor, but ultimately the commonality only goes so far, and the rest, where the Jewish people excel, is expressed through the mitzvos, is endowed through the mitzvos, and that's the meaning of the words, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvosav. Hashem, you have sanctified us through the mitzvos. That has what allowed us to rise above the chamor status. I thought that was a beautiful insight, because it's a very positive way of looking at the Gemara. You look at the Gemara, Am Hadomer LeChamor, and you think it's so insensitive, it's not politically correct, but the truth is it's a very powerful statement endowing the non-Jews with a level of sanctity, but it's not the same level that we can reach. Judith, were you going to say something?
No, I was just trying, that's what the explanation I wanted.
Yeah.
Why they don't have the same level.
Right, so because there ain't no mitzvah v'yoseh. If they choose to do a mitzvah, they will never be commanded in the mitzvahs. We are commanded in the mitzvahs, and therefore that allows us to raise up our level of spirituality, and it's most profoundly stated, it can be seen through our actions, through the mitzvahs that we do. And that's why we say this statement. We make a berachas mitzvah only when we do a mitzvah, not just when we think about a mitzvah, but we actually do the mitzvah. It's our actions which testify to this sanctity. I thought that was a brilliant point from Rabbi Schwab. So let's just finish off the bracha, because we've actually done a very good job, Baruch Hashem, of breaking down every single part of this generic bracha. I use the word generic in the sense that this is a text, a standard text that we say for every Berachas HaMitzvah. But as we started with Netilas Yadayim, I want to share with you a phenomenal insight from Rav Schwab on the last words. Al Netilas Yadayim, right? The first brach we make every day. Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kedusha mitzvosav v'tzivanu al Netilas Yadayim. So what do those words mean? Al Netilas Yadayim. What do the words actually mean? So, what does the Art Scroll translate? So let's see. Art Scroll says, who has sanctified us with his commandments and has commanded us regarding washing the hands. Al netilas yadayim, washing the hands. Okay, I think most people would intuitively say netila relates to washing, something along those lines. Natal means to taking a cup, washing the hands. Remember we discussed also a couple weeks ago that natal refers to a kli, a utensil. We have to use specifically utensil in the morning. But I want to share with you a beautiful pasuk that sheds light in a whole different way. So if you look with me in source number 5, this is a pasuk in Isaiah chapter 63 verse 9, Yeshayahu Perek Samech Gimel, pasuk Tes. So we'll read the whole pasuk, but really I want to focus on the last few words. B'chol tzarasam lo tzar. In all their distress, he too was distressed. That's a beautiful pasuk, by the way, that whenever we're in tzaris, the Ribbono Shalom is also in tzaris. Imo anochi b'tzara. Umalach panav hoshiem, and there is an angel of his presence that saved them. Ba'avaso v'chamaso hu go'olam, because God loves us and has compassion on us, he redeems us. Ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? Vayinatleim, vayinasaim, kol yemei olam. So what do those words mean? Vayinatleim, vayinasaim. He lifts them and right. So they're different translations. The one I have over here is he lifted them and he carried them. Nasa, like naso at Bnei Yisrael, means to carry, to lift. The truth is these words are synonyms. They mean the same thing. Vayinatleim, he carried them, vayinasaim, and he carried them. So instead of just using the word carry twice, the different translations say he bore them, he lifted them. But the bottom line is, vayinatleim means to carry, to raise up. Naso means to raise up. Nata means to carry. When you carry something, what do? You lift it. So al nitilas yadayim, the first bracha that we say every day, really means, God, you have commanded us to lift up our hands. Now what does that mean? God, you have commanded us to lift up our hands. Isaiah 63, Vayinatleim, Vayinasaim, God carried them, he bore them, he lifted them. So Netilas Yadayim means, God, you have commanded us to lift up our hands. So what's the significance of that? To lift up our hands? I know what Rav Schwab says. Hold on one second. Yeah, but you can't read me from the book. I want to hear what other people have to say. What do you suggest those of you who have not read the book? Yes.
One should not stand idle.
Okay.
Baruch is saying that the gifts that I have given you,
right, you
should use them, lift them up.
Beautiful. Okay, why is that? So Marty's saying we have to lift up all the gifts, the resources that Hashem has given us. Why is that expressed specifically through the hands? Anatilas yadayim. Hashem, you have... Right, so I think the hands represent all of our handiwork, right? All the things that we do in this world. Our hands represent our actions. Our actions, they're expressed through our legs and that's our feet, but our hands really represent the symbol of the work that we do in this world. And ultimately, the first bracha that we make every day, we're saying, Hashem, you have commanded us to raise up all of the things that we do in this world and create places for spirituality. Create spaces for spirituality. Take all of the handiwork that we'll be doing throughout the course of the day and vayinatleim, vayinisaim. Raise it up. Imbue it with sanctity. Go out to the world. Conquer the world. Cure cancer. Raise it up. And that is such a profound idea that expresses itself throughout Judaism. Engage the world, but ultimately uplift the world. And the Chai Adam, I just was reviewing this recently, so it reminded me, I want to share with you, the Chai Adam tells us that this is the job of the Jew. The job of the Jew is to embrace the world that surrounds us. Embrace our physical needs, but ultimately we are to uplift them. The Chai Adam, let me just read you this paragraph and then I'm happy to take some questions and comments. The Chai Adam writes, Amru Chachamim, Kol Ma'asecha Yu L'Shem Shemayim. Our rabbis tell us that everything that we do has to be for the sake of heaven. Shafilu Devarim Shel Rishus, even things which are permissible, they're not classic mitzvot. Kigon Ha'achila, V'Ashtiya, V'Ha'alicha, V'Yashiva, V'Akima, V'Atashmish, V'Asicha, V'Chol Tzarchei Gufecha, the eating, the drinking, the walking, the sitting, the rising, the relations, the speech, everything that we do as part of being a human being, yukulam avodas borecha. It all has to be either directly for the service of the Creator, or ledavar hagorim avodasa, or something that causes us to be able to serve the Creator. So eating on Shabbos, that's directly serving the Creator, because Hashem said, eat meals on Shabbos. Eating during the week, It's something which enables us to serve the Creator, because I am healthy, I'm well fed, and now I have the energy to go out and do everything that I'm supposed to be doing. Shafilu hayat sameh v'ra'av in Chai Adam, source number 6, paragraph 2 says, even if a person is thirsty or ravenous, they're hungry. Im achav v'shasa lahanoso, if a person eats and drinks for their own benefit, eino mishubach. So that's not particularly praiseworthy. Ela yichavein sheyochav v'yishteh kefi chiyuso la'avodes boro. We eat and we drink what we need in order to give us the energy that we need to serve the Creator. V'chein afilu liyashev b'sod yisharim v'la'amo b'makom tzadikim. Even when we're sitting amongst righteous people, v'leilech ba'atzas tamimim, when we go ahead, we live our life with the guidance of the rabbis. Im asa lahanos atzmo. If a person does this for their own self-aggrandizement, lahashlim chavtzo v'tavaso, to fulfill their own desires, in meshubach elim kain asa l'shem shemayim. This is all for the sake of heaven. Just to finish off, v'chein b'shchiva. When we lie down at night, when we sleep, obviously if a person still has energy to learn Torah, don't go to sleep. If you still have energy left, right, keep on going. Person has to go to sleep. Ultimately, the day has to come to a close. So you go to sleep not in order to enjoy a gesunte Schlaf. It's not praiseworthy. We give our eyes a rest. We give our body a rest. We should be healthy. We have to be up and awake for Torah, for everything that we do. The reason I bring this down for you, ladies and gentlemen, because in my mind, that's all encapsulated in the first bracha we say every day. Al netilas yadayim. It doesn't just mean to take a utensil and wash our hands. It means that too. But it means to raise up our hands, to sanctify all that we do over the course of the day and imbue it with sanctity and spirituality. That's an unbelievable insight from Rabbi Schwab. And again, the reason he's able to say this is because he has precedent from the verse in Isaiah. It's a pasuk in Yeshayahu. And we can take the meaning from a pasuk in Yeshayahu and we can apply it to our bracha. And I think that's a magnificent way to start our day. Was there a comment or a question? Judy, you had your hand up before?
Only just watching you discuss this. With your hand.
Right.
But your hands are expressing.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly.
And it's very hard
Right, exactly.
express anything without using your hands.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Was there someone else that wanted to say something?
I think I saw something in yesterday's Daf Yomi.
Okay.
That if someone doesn't have hands, there are certain mitzvahs that he can't...
Right. Yeah, our hands are critical. I think the hands are symbolic. I think the reason we focus on our hands, is because Netilas Yadayim has to be on our hands, because the Ruach HaTumah, as we discussed, somehow this evil force that is able to creep up on our body when we're sleeping. So when we wake up, it immediately leaves, and it only remains on our hands. You see, in my home, when I'm sleeping, so the Ruach HaTumah goes and it comes. My son likes to do a job of waking me up in the middle of the night. So it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. But okay, for most people, they could sleep through the night, they wake up in the morning, and there's only Ruach HaTumah left on the hands. Yes, Anna?
Not only the hand, but it's actually on the nails.
Right.
Because it's called Lego Bas.
Ah, interesting. Okay, you see the Sifrei Halacha talk about the hands as a general rule. Okay, so that concludes the first bracha. So at the rate we're going, what would it take us, 4 weeks or so to do the first bracha? So I'm not sure how much we'll get through, but we'll probably pick up a little bit on the pace. Although, what is the rush? That's the truth. Every one of these pearls, the beauty really, the beauty of also going so slowly up to this point is because everything we've discussed is relevant for every bracha, every brachas hamitzvah.